Thank you very much for that kind introduction. Let me first of all express the gratitude of the Ministry of Tourism. Sorry, I'm just coming from the Ministry of Youth and Sports. So, to the Institute for asking us to come and share our thoughts and our experiences with you. And as you can tell from my brief introduction, I'm a journalist by profession. I'm also a member of Parliament. I have had some experience as the Minister for Women and Children, and also as the first woman Minister for Youth and Sports in Ghana. It was under my leadership that the Black Stars went to South Africa as representatives of Ghana and came back as representatives of Africa after going past the quarter-final stage, which is no mean achievement. And of course, now I'm the new Minister for Tourism, having been in office for less than 2 months. I therefore appreciate this platform to share my thoughts with you and also learn from you about opportunities that exist in tourism development across the world, in Ghana and also in the sub-region. Colleagues, before I proceed, may I use this opportunity to express the warm greetings of His Excellency Professor J.E.A. Atta-Mills, President of the Republic of Ghana, and also the good people of Ghana, to all of you who also want me to wish you a very fruitful deliberations. As we've been told, and in fact what I'm going to say will be a bit repetitive because most of the issues I raised in my presentation have already been told us. So it will be kind of going to just emphasize the points that the earlier speakers have made. Tourism has become one of the fastest growing socio-economic sectors in the global economy, as well as a formidable avenue for the expansion of other sectors of economies of developing countries particularly. My presentation will bring out the dynamics in Ghana's tourism industry and in the West African sub-region, since the natural conditions and tourism potentials in Ghana may not differ very much from those in other countries in the sub-region, West African sub-region. I would, however, like to start with a brief on the general issues on branding. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, branding of a tourism destination is largely dependent on the general perception about the destination, be it local, community, town, country, or continent. Countries worldwide, as a result of information technology, are increasingly shifting from local branding to global branding, considering the fact that the world has become one big global village. New markets and destinations have emerged in the tourism economy and are competing favorably or overtaking the traditional giants. For instance, the Asian giants, and particularly Malaysia, and her truly Asia mantra or branding is strategically branding and positioning herself as a favorable tourism destination so as to attract more international tourists and foreign direct investment. The promotion of such destinations is done primarily through conscious marketing strategies, as we've been told already, focusing on a variety of mechanisms such as cheap and efficient flights, domestic and international tour packages, and above all, through the branding of the destination in the international media. Africa is poised to take a position in the global market of tourism by branding herself as a major tourist destination. Unfortunately, there are a number of challenges that confront Africa, and for that matter Ghana, in this forward march of effectively branding and making Africa more competitive in attracting foreign arrivals. Some of the challenges we've been told are conflicts, hunger, poverty, and very unfavorable democratic credentials, as a result of which sometimes countries, issue travel cautions to their citizens not to visit Africa or not to visit certain parts of Africa. But I'm happy to say that some African countries are also making a lot of strides as far as development is concerned, particularly in the area of democracy. And my country is one such giant in Africa. Also, not forgetting South Africa and Benin. Governments in developing countries and also our developing partners are increasingly focusing on tourism as a viable poverty reduction option that has the potential to create jobs and wealth, redistribute income, and accelerate development through diversification of tourism products and services. Tourism in Ghana. Ghana has in the last few weeks put a lot of strategies together to accelerate tourism. Some of these include the establishment of organizational infrastructure that aids multi-sectoral tourism development. We have, for instance, the Ghana Tourist Board. We have the Ghana Tourist Development Company, which is a quasi-government agency specializing in marketing and packaging tourism products. We also have the Ghana Tourism Federation, which is a wholly private sector organization bringing together stakeholders and trade associations under one umbrella. They include tour operators, they include caterers, they include hoteliers, and they include also the media. We also have at the policy level the Ministerial Advisory Board, as well as the Interministerial Advisory Committee, which brings together experts and key stakeholders from other government institutions to deliberate on matters concerning tourism development. And as far as the Interministerial Advisory Committee is concerned, we have, for instance, the Ministry of Interior, which deals with visa issues. We have the Ministry of Health. We have Ministry of Roads and Highways, which deals with access routes to our tourist sites. And we also have the Ministry of Information, because they are very critical in the branding of Ghana as a tourism destination. For the Ministerial Advisory Board, we have key public sector stakeholders like the Ministry of Tourism, and also key private sector practitioners who have been successful in the hospitality industry and who we think are critical to the development of tourism in Ghana. Distinguished participants, perhaps the strategic location of my country, Ghana, at the center of the world. Is it there? Do we have the map of Africa or the world? Places it in a unique position as an enviable tourist destination. The Greenwich Meridian passes through Ghana, passes through one of the major harbor cities, which is Tema. The country also lies in the center of the Gulf of Guinea and has easy maritime and air access to many global markets. Averagely, flights to major European and African countries take about 6 hours or less. And the economy has opened up for investment in many key sectors. And Ghana's airspace has also been opened further with over 200 flights, coming into Ghana from Togo, Benin, UK, Holland, South Africa, Kenya, name it. Averagely, we have about 40 flights a day, following from a low of about 20 flights about a decade ago. And this is an indication of the favorable conditions currently prevailing in Ghana and the opportunities available for investment in the aviation and tourism sectors. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in Ghana, as in many other African countries, tourism plays a lead role in national development as far as tourism arrivals, foreign exchange earnings, employment generation, and total contribution to GDP is concerned. The increase in the number of international airlines and their frequency makes it possible for regional and international tourists to visit Ghana, either for business tourism or for leisure tourism. And the statistics I'm going to give you now indicate significant increases in tourism arrivals in Ghana. We've had international tourists increasing from 428,533 in 2005 to 931,244 in 2010. with correspondent receipts rising from $836.09 million to $1.876 million within the same period. Employment also recorded an increase from 172,823 to 291,202 between 2005 and 2010. These figures also indicate the increasing interest of tourists and businesses to invest in Ghana. And what are the figures or factors that promote tourism in Ghana? I would invite you at this stage to join me to examine a number of important interventions by Government of Ghana that accelerate investment and the reason why Ghana is and should be the preferred tourism destination. 1. Good governance. We've heard the previous speakers talk about that. Developing tourism requires certain antecedent conditions, and the recent political unrest in many tourism destinations in Africa have arisen largely out of the challenges of good governance. These unfortunate situations could have been averted through the adoption of good governance and democratic processes which recognize the rule of law, political and religious tolerance, for instance. And I'm happy to say that in Ghana, we practice a multi-party democratic system, and we have enjoyed a politically peaceful and stable environment in the last 3 decades. We have witnessed 5 successful elections and 2 smooth regime changes during the recent Fourth Republic, making us a showpiece in Africa. Indeed, as the star of Africa, Ghana has gained international acceptability and is becoming an investment haven for businesses, conferences, and vacations, primarily because of the relatively favorable politico-economic environment prevalent in Ghana. When we talk about economic stability, we know that tourism thrives within a safe and secure investment environment. And suffice it to say that with the robust financial sector reform activities going on in Ghana, Ghana enjoys a relatively good financial regime, which has led to the establishment of a number of local and international businesses and financial institutions linking the country to the global economy. This is possible due to the flexible but strong regulatory and supervisory frameworks which have been put in place for business. Of course, one cannot overlook the importance of IT and the steady improvement in communication infrastructure. There are also guarantees in the Constitution and other legislative instruments tailored to give the investor a relatively comfortable investment opportunity. And in this case, we cite the Ghana Investments Promotion Center regulations as one such example. The investment guarantees under the present government also include free transferability of profits by private sector investors. We also have insurance against non-commercial risks, and Ghana is a signatory to the World Bank's Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, MIGA Convention. Ghana has also signed on to the double taxation agreements, that is the DTAs, with several countries to rationalize tax obligations of investors in order to prevent double taxation. The other favorable condition is a public-private sector partnership. There is a strong commitment to public-private sector partnership, which is critical to the development of a sustainable tourism sector. In Ghana, while government is committed to the provision of infrastructure such as roads, electricity, and water, the private sector, which is considered the engine of growth, makes and contributes a lot to the development of facilities such as hotels, restaurants, and entertainment centers. To strengthen the operation of private sector operatives, who are considered equal partners in the development of tourism and other sectors, a tourism bill has been developed in active collaboration with these players. The bill is currently before Ghana's Parliament and is expected to be passed soon to remove identified bottlenecks and provide an enhanced environment for tourism development in Ghana. Legal regime and framework. Ghana has developed an open door policy for investments, as I have said already. The legal and legislative framework being practiced provides for very conducive investment environment. The rule of law, transparency and accountability are largely upheld, and business registration can be done within a day or two. These are being pursued, and there are physical demonstrations of the workability of these laws. 5. Domestic tourism. You will agree with me that the success or failure of international tourism depends largely on domestic tourism policies and plans. Developed countries which have promoted their tourism industry through programs and packages allow their citizens to patronize their domestic tourist sites at very minimal cost, and have also shown the way for us in Ghana to go the same way. We also recognize the vital role that domestic tourism can play in fostering national unity, cohesion, and in the redistribution of income between urban and rural areas where most of the tourist attractions are located. And this has become an important area of focus for tourism and tourism infrastructure development in Ghana. A number of what we call tourism receptive facilities, as well as an ultra-modern Accra Tourism Visitor Information Center, are being constructed with funds from the Japanese government through JICA under a public-private initiative. And this will be replicated in all the 10 regions of Ghana where we have our tourist sites. The essence of the Tourist Information Center, for instance, is to provide a one-stop shop information, recreation, and business center for all tourists and visitors to Ghana who want to visit our sites. I wish at this stage to illustrate to you some of the significant and important areas that exist for tourism development. I also wish to use the opportunity to invite interested and potential investors to take advantage of the opportunities presented in this paper and come to invest in our friendly country, Ghana. The first area of potential investment is in the area of hotels and accommodation. There are a limited number of brand hotels in the country, and as an emerging and growing destination for business and conference tourism, as well as a potential destination for sports tourism, there are opportunities for investment in large, medium, and small-scale accommodation facilities for business and leisure. Beach resort development. We have about 550 kilometer stretch of coastline with beautiful and scenic features. So they are not only in Namibia, they are also in Ghana. Investors are being encouraged to invest in such areas as the Marine Drive and in Pram Pram in Greater Accra, Gomuafete and Brenu Achinum in the Central Region, Princess Town in Western Region, the Keta Anyangwe areas in the Volta Region, and several of these. In the area of lake resort development, Ghana can boast of the largest man-made lake in the West African sub-region, and the lake provides numerous opportunities for lake resort development, cruise ships, and water transport from the south of the country to the north. We also have several opportunities for fishing in the areas including Kpando, where my constituency is located, and also in the Crater Lake, Busumtwi area in Ashanti region. We also have opportunity for development of marinas in the areas of Sogankope and Adan on the lower water system, as well as in the Keta Lagoon. We have beautiful sites for ecotourism development, and we have the national parks, we have the monkey sanctuaries, and the countryside for the entertainment of ecotourists, adventurers, and nature lovers. Some of these include the very popular Mole National Park in the northern region, of Ghana. We also have the Kakum National Park in the central region, where we have the popular canopy walkway. We have the Tafi, Atome, and Boa Ben Fiema and other monkey sanctuaries in the Volta and Brong Ahafo regions, as well as in other parts of the country. Motels and state-of-the-art rest stops. The major arteries into and out of the capital city of Accra, as well as links between major cities in the countryside, provide additional opportunities and viable prospects for investment. Ghana, being the gateway to West Africa, offers potential investors and visitors equal opportunity, especially along the major highways from Aplau to Elubo, which is on the border with Côte d'Ivoire, and from Accra to Paga, on the border with Burkina Faso. We also have the Accra to Kumasi highway, Kumasi to Wa, Kintampo to Bolga, and Tamale highways. Other areas of economic or equal importance include conference facilities, tourist coach transport, including domestic flights, paragliding, and we have a very popular one that is done every year. We call it the Etibie Paragliding Festival, which comes on in April during the Easter of the people of that area, and you are invited to come and observe. We also have opportunities for cable car infrastructure development, aviation sports, and coach services. Of course, not forgetting entertainment, recreational, theme park facilities, and shopping malls, among others. One area that is very dear to my heart is sports tourism, and it is obvious because I just moved from Ministry of Youth and Sports, and it was also during my tenure that Ghana made it as the first African country past the quarterfinals in the last World Cup. You will agree with me that a strong relationship has been established between sports and tourism globally. And it's been said, for instance, and proven by research, that the South African tourist industry witnessed significant growth during and after the 2010 FIFA World Cup. While the tournament positioned South Africa positively in the global limelight, she is also reaping the benefits of hosting the World Cup. And research indicates that 309,559 foreign tourists visited South Africa just for the 1 month period and spent approximately 3.6 billion rands within that same period, which is a lot of money spent in that economy. You will agree with me that Ghana, as the only African country that went past the qualifying stages in the World Cup, Ghana has benefited and continues to benefit from the tournament. At least in terms of branding and marketing purposes, Ghana is now synonymous to football as a brand name across the world. This has translated into positive advantages for us in terms of tourism inflows, businesses, and foreign direct investment. Football, brand name, and the sterling performance of the Black Stars, coupled with the fact that most of our Ghanaian players are making it big on the international football scene, have positively positioned Ghana as a preferred tourism destination. And we in the Ministry of Tourism are positioning ourselves to build a sports hall of fame that will showcase the paraphernalia of renowned sportsmen and women, especially Black Stars, the contingent that made it to the World Cup. This, we believe, will also attract more investment into Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, the global economy, and Africa in particular, need to take advantage of the opportunities provided by the World Cup and any such other sporting events to promote continental and regional sports, as well as national unity, cohesion, and togetherness for the benefit of member countries. Indeed, sports tourism, and for that matter, the tourism sector, offers a wide range of opportunities for nation branding, tourism, and investment in the globalized world. Tourism also provides an equal opportunity for public-private partnership in harnessing the diverse and abundant natural, historical, and cultural resources that remain largely untapped in our part of the world. Indeed, the Better Ghana agenda of our president aims at opening the doors of investment for employment and wealth creation for Ghanaians, and to facilitate any investment drive in Ghana is the best bet for nation branding, tourism, and investment in the globalized world. If you talk about natural heritage sites, we also have several, and these include the 55-kilometer palm-fringed sandy coastline bordering the Atlantic Ocean. We have land and water bodies with endangered seabirds and species of turtles, which are being conserved for tourism and ecotourism purposes. We also have the national parks and natural reserves, as I've already mentioned, the Kakum National Park, the Canopy Walkway, the Hippopotamus Sanctuary in the Upper West region, as well as the Mole National Park, where we have a variety of animals such as duikers, monkeys, and elephants. There are numerous opportunities for eco lodges, game viewing, safari facilities, etc., etc. I think you can see some of them captured here. If you talk about historical and cultural sites, Ghana is one of the leading countries, where we have over 60 forts and castles designated by UNESCO as World Heritage Sites. These were built between the 14th and 18th centuries by the European countries which colonized Ghana, then called Gold Coast. They included the Portuguese, British, Swedes, Danes, French, and Germans. In fact, in my part of Ghana, you have a lot of German relics, German artifacts, and the discipline and honesty exhibited by people from my region. It's sometimes said to be the outcome of the colonization of that area by the Germans. So all of you are invited to invest in the Volta region of Ghana. While these edifices were built for trade in commodities, they eventually became holding centers for African slaves bound for the Americas during the transatlantic slave trade era. The abundance of these historical relics strengthens Ghana's position as the gateway to the homeland for all people of African descent in the diaspora, including the USA, Caribbeans, Brazil, and other South American countries. Ghana has therefore set aside July to August every year to celebrate cultural events such as the Emancipation Day and also the Pan-African Festival of Arts and Culture, popularly known as PANAFest, to commemorate the slave episode and encourage our brothers and sisters from the diaspora to return home. It is on record that the celebration of these events has become a major pull factor for a number of African Americans to return to Ghana and Africa and to invest and settle there. One of these returnees is Mrs. Rita Marley, the wife of the late Bob Marley. The greatest pride of Africa and Ghana in particular is the historic visit in 2009 of the first black American president of the US, President Barack Obama, his wife and daughters. A number of celebrated personalities are usually also invited, and this year Ghana is expected to play host to an international reggae icon in the Emancipation and PANAFest Festival. In fact, we are working at inviting Jimmy Cliff. If his schedule permits, then he'll be in Ghana for this particular festival. We also have a variety of festivals of indigenous Ghanaian music, and we intend in 2012, to organize a very big indigenous Ghanaian music festival, which will constitute a major attraction for tourists. And it is in line with the government's objective to promote indigenous music, which is popularly called the high life, and dances. And we are doing this in collaboration with the World Bank in Ghana. Of course, we cannot say all this without forgetting the emerging oil sector in Ghana. The oil and gas finds have become the latest pull factor for business tourists seeking additional avenues for investment. While the oil industry provides a basis for investment in infrastructure such as roads, railways, and domestic air transportation, It also offers prospects for investment in hotels, restaurants, entertainment, and related facilities. So you are invited. Talking about health tourism, which is an emerging developing sector in Ghana. We have world-class health promotion facilities in a country which also influences its marketability and patronage by tourists, as seen in health tourism destinations in India, China, and Japan, among others. In Ghana, tourism-related traditional and orthodox medical facilities have been established, which attract many domestic and international tourists. These include the world-renowned Center for Scientific Research into Plant Medicine at Mampong Ekwapim and the Cardiothoracic Center at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. In fact, these days we have people coming from as far as East Africa, North Africa, neighboring countries to come and have heart surgeries done in Ghana because of the establishment of this renowned cardio center in Kolebu. We also have a number of spas and health-related facilities in Sugankope in the Volta region, also being heavily patronized by indigenous and foreign investors. Conclusion. Before I resume my seat, I wish to once again associate myself with the theme of this conference and to mention to you how delighted I am to be part of this unique opportunity, especially coming just a little under 2 months on my assumption of office as the Minister for Tourism in Ghana. I want to assure you that in Ghana, you will find the warmest and friendliest people in the world to interact and do business with. And therefore, on behalf of the President, the government, and people of Ghana, I wish to invite all of you to take advantage of the enabling investment climate in Ghana to invest in large, medium, and small-scale tourism enterprises. I also urge you to visit Ghana for your leisure. And as we say, Ghana, the star of Africa, know it, feel it, experience it. Let me once again express our appreciation to the organizers of this forum and all of you who helped in various ways to make this event a success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Your Excellency, for the very thought-provoking presentation. I think many of us are interested in coming to Ghana now.
Thank you. You're
I'm
invited.
sure you've inspired. We're running slightly behind schedule, but I would suggest taking maybe 2 questions together, and then maybe we could give a final response. Yeah. As always, please, if you could briefly introduce yourself and stand when you pose the question or comment. That would be helpful. Who would like to go first? Yeah? Okay.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Clufield. I'm the director of a business called Rightly Said Communications Consultancy and a PR consultancy as well.
Okay.
Thank you very much for a very insightful and is this better? Can everyone hear? Thank you very much for a very insightful and informative presentation.
Thank you.
As a Ghanaian and as an African, I am very excited about all the opportunities that you've talked about. I had a question, though, about the relationship of the Ministry of Tourism with the Brand Ghana office that was established in 2009. I just wondered if you could talk a little bit about what precisely the relationship has entailed so far and what the plans are for the future in that regard.
Thank you.
Thank you. And is there a second question maybe before we return? Yes, okay.
Hello there, my name is Martin Patton. I'm a student from the UK. I've just got a general question. Is there any potential for cruise ship tourism in West Africa?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned it in the presentation,
so, yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Are you interested?
Not personally, but I think but maybe also in cooperation with other West African destinations so that you can create some kind of route, because I think that's probably what's missing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a possibility, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Okay.
Yes. The Brand Ghana office and the Ministry of Tourism. Well, before that office was created, it was mainly the Ministry of Tourism and Ministry of Information which were responsible for branding Ghana. But it was thought that we should have an office specially created to help in the generic branding of Ghana. Unfortunately, this office has not achieved much, since its establishment, and people think that it is a little bit of an academic, institution or office, which doesn't actually, tell the story about Ghana. So we in the ministry have decided that we will not wait, for Brand Ghana to accomplish its mandate before we, continue to brand Ghana. Otherwise, we will lose out. The world is not waiting for us. So we will continue to do our bit, and when they are ready, we can all sit down, including other stakeholders, and look at what messages, we'll send out there to brand Ghana as an investment and tourist destination. So that is in brief what I can say about the Brand Ghana office.
Okay, well, thank you again very, very much. It's an honor to have you here. We very much appreciate it. Well, would you like, we can try to get one more question in?
Yeah, sure.
Is there another final question? Unfortunately, our next speaker is also under some time pressure, so we can't go too late. But I'd be happy to. Is there a final question, or? I'm sorry to keep this efficient.
Thank you very much.
All right, well, let me take this occasion once again, please, to express my gratitude to you.
Thank you.